Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mediocre Gamers, where we discuss all things gaming. I'm RJ,
I'm Crimson.
And I'm Caleb.
and we've had an exciting week this week with the release of Destiny 2 and the Halloween weekend. We've got some awesome experiences that we want to share and discuss this week. But first, in grandiose fashion, what has everybody been playing this week? Crimson, what's been on your list?
Only game I've been playing is Destiny 2, and that is it. I have watched a couple movies. Stranger Things Season 2 is awesome, and watched a crap ton of Friday the 13th, but mainly Destiny 2. Destiny 2 and more Destiny 2.
Nice.
I will go further into my Destiny 2 at a later point in this podcast because it's a lot.
I have been playing some Destiny 2 as well, and we also got to play Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, a board game, yesterday at a Halloween party that we had, and it was a lot of fun.
Can you play that? Can you play that in Destiny 2?
Maybe.
Then how'd you play it? Oh, you actually left your house.
I left my house because yeah. Not gonna finish
Sunlight, no, bad. Destiny 2.
For those of us who also have addictive personalities but don't jump that far down the fucking rabbit hole, we got to play Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, and it was a blast. It was the first time that I have ever played a Betrayal game, and so it was definitely nice kind of jumping into the fantasy one that has some of the updated rules, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But it was a ton of fun. And we ended up having a haunt that I didn't expect, which was that one of our party members died and then became a dungeon master and just started fucking with us. So I cannot wait to play more of that. Also, me and RJ got to play a little bit of Arkham Horror, which we won't get into too much details about. We're actually going to talk about that on our episode of WTFFG. But we've been having some fun with some Halloween-themed stuff right now.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's been awesome to just really shake it up and just do something different. And that's what this week has definitely been. Really, really different. I have an unfortunate Destiny 2 story. Basically, the spark notes, and I'll get into this when we get into our Destiny 2 section, but I wasn't actually able to play Destiny 2 for the first week for, let's say, game development reasons. But
oh my god, no! You poor
I
man.
know. Just, the torture of listening to you guys just rock on and just tear through the things, and I'm like, okay, I wish I was there.
And now, some of us were good friends and proper mediocre gamers and actually jumped out of Destiny 2 to play other games with you, while one of us did not.
Gasp!
Some of you guys start playing at 8 o'clock at night, right around someone else's bedtime. I'm just saying.
Now, it actually really did work out where you basically were heading to bed because of your schedule, and then I was able to flip over and play some games with RJ. So, scheduling-wise, it actually worked out to fit around this developmental crisis.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And yeah, that's the one thing we will always struggle with is our scheduling issues. But knock on wood, we've done pretty well so far. But to pass my time this week, I've been rocking a little bit of StarCraft 2. The co-op. I watched a little bit of that movie Starship Troopers and just had the urge to play some StarCraft 2. So I was playing a bit of Nova, getting her to a higher level, and then I actually tried out Zagara had an odd inkling to try her out, and shaking off some rust from playing Zerg, because Zerg is my least favorite faction. But Zagara is a lot of fun, and just kind of different, and when she wants to spawn a horde, she just spawns a horde. It's awesome. And then just a couple other things that I've noticed whilst I was perusing around. There is a new season for Diablo 3 that is coming up pretty soon. I don't know, I did not catch the date, but that is coming soon. And I've took a look at For Honor recently. The Knights have won Season 3. And also there's been multiple updates, and the most recent one was another 9 gig update, which is one of my complaints about
Christ.
Yep, when they put out an
That's
update.
A whole game.
Yep, you're not wrong about that. When they do an update, it's a hell of an update.
A whole game 10 years ago.
Or
now games are like 85
9
gigabytes.
indie games.
Or a quarter of a normal game. I don't know. Yeah.
That's true. But
yeah,
holy fuck, 9 gig update.
Yep. We're not going to talk about that one. But then the one thing that I wanted to kind of really settle on for this week was I played a little bit of the Pathfinder RPG Society module, and this one actually wasn't Pathfinder Society sanctioned, so it was just a one-shot. And this one was titled Carnival of Tears. And oh man, this was a scenario straight out of a Lovecraft novel, if I ever saw one. So I'll just give you some of the spark notes. We didn't finish it, but we're at a good stopping point. But what happened was the party rolls up on a carnival, and they have games to play, strongman games, archery contests. There's mead and drinks to be had and all sorts of merriment. And throughout the whole thing, you're just enjoying yourself at the carnival. Cotton candy, caramel apples, and all this stuff. And our party had I was a gnome fighter, a little short and stout. We had a gnome, I believe it was a bard. I apologize if I don't get all the characters right. We had a half-elf cleric, and we had a human fighter, and we had a brawler, and we had a half-orc barbarian. So we had a decent variety of a team, and we're just enjoying ourselves at the carnival. And then suddenly we're pulled away from the carnival, and they warn us, some manner of spirit warns us that something is amiss, and there's possessions, and nothing is as it seems. Here, take this vial and drink from it. So we naturally drink from this magical potion. We wander back to the carnival, and it is a scene straight out of a nightmare. Literally, everything is an illusion, and everything is turned on its head. There's monsters that are tearing at people, and every single experience that we went through while we were enjoying ourselves at the carnival, we have to relive, but now on a horror and terrifying flip side. It's the developers did a really good job with this scenario and this module, so I'm having a lot of fun just getting the crap scared out of me. And I want to give mad props to Bill Loescher, we did an interview with a couple weeks ago. He was our dungeon master for this game, and mad props to Bill. I now see why he is the captain, and he has done a really good job with Society and really knows how to run a damn good game. So thank you, Bill. Thank you so much for this experience. So I don't want to give away too many spoilers in case people are interested and haven't played this. But yeah, this was an awesome scenario. So I will leave the story there.
And Lovecraftian Pathfinder just sounds fucking awesome, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, man, there was... Okay, so I mentioned the strongman game, but the one where you take the hammer, ring the bell, and try to see how high it goes up on the thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's sort of like that, except when you come back, it's not a bell that you're ringing.
Okay.
Yep, there might be...
I'm worried
Yep,
now.
there might be villagers that are being tied up at the top.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's quite terrifying.
It's fucking horrifying.
Yep. So I will leave it at that. So that was an awesome Halloween scenario. So, anywho,
that sounds awesome.
But speaking of Halloween, we actually, at least Caleb and I, went to a Halloween party this weekend that we alluded to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So Caleb, why don't you talk a little bit about that, since you were more involved in that than I was?
Well, the idea was we wanted to get together and play some board games and stuff, Halloween-themed board games for Halloween. And so me and my parents decided to get together and plan a Halloween party, and my mom, being the awesome, eccentric person that she is, decided to spend hundreds of dollars in decorations and candy and snacks and all sorts of stuff, and we rented out a room and decorated it to hell and back, pun intended. And it was a blast. We dressed up for it. We unfortunately only got to scare the crap out of 2 people, but it was hilarious because they got the crap scared out of them like 4 times.
And it was totally worth it.
It was a blast. Unfortunately, we didn't have a ton of time because we played Zombie Dice, a big round table of it, because that game can play basically unlimited number of people. And then we played Betrayal at Baldur's Gate at one table and Betrayal at House on the Hill at another table. So that was kind of nice. We had both versions going at 2 separate tables. We then had a couple more people who showed up. And so we kind of just worked them in as we could. And we ended up doing Betrayal at Baldur's Gate with 6 people instead of 5. Which did not really change the game much at all, which was nice that we were able to kind of fudge the rules just enough to get more people in, and it was a fucking blast. It was a much needed break from everything else. It was a nice change of pace that we just got to sit down with our friends and some strangers who were great, eat some cupcakes, eat some candy, drink some terrible soda and tea and all sorts of stuff, and just play some games. Now, it was also your first time playing Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, but not your first time playing a Betrayal game, right?
Yes, I have played a couple games of Betrayal at the House on the Hill a couple times before. I was by no means able to sit down and run the whole game by itself, and I would like to give mad props to Andy, who did just that for our Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. He took it upon himself, skimmed over the rules, figured out what was different, and pretty much led the whole table in the adventure. So thank you, Andy. That was awesome.
He honestly did an amazing job, and I actually have to give even more props to him because he was actually one of our party members, and the defector was one of the people who had never played before and was completely unfamiliar with the game. So what he actually did was he dropped out to basically be a co-defector so that he could help that person and explain the rules and explain how things worked. And so we kind of had a duo of defectors, and then both of my parents actually subbed into his place, and we had a duo working as one adventurer. So it was actually super cool.
Yeah, and it was, I really like Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. They've done a few things that are kind of polished up the rules from the first game. And one of them was the changes to the haunt rule. And in the haunt rule in the first one, I actually don't remember what it was in the first one, but in the second one, as the haunt dial ticks up, you roll that many. You roll that many dice for each haunt that has been, or omen that has been drawn, and then you now just have to roll above a 6 instead of whatever the rule was before. So that changed.
It's actually the opposite. You roll 6 dice and you have to beat the number of omens in play.
Okay, excuse me. I apparently somebody called bullshit on me, and I'm just going to go over here and actually pull up the document that I'm supposed to have up in front of me. So on that note, pass it off.
It looks like a fun game. I mean, it really does.
It really is, and it was actually really cool because in Betrayal at House on the Hill, you're exploring a house on the hill. You're exploring a mansion. And in Baldur's Gate, you have the street tiles, you have building tiles, and you've got catacomb tiles. So it feels like you're exploring a wider space. More diversity.
Yeah, and just to give a little bit more background information to our listeners who may not have actually played either of these games in the past, the way that this one works, it's a co-op game where you are exploring either a house for Betrayal on the House of the Hill or the town at Baldur's Gate. And as you reveal room tiles, you can encounter events, you can encounter items, or you can encounter an omen. And if the omen conditions are met, and air quotes, the haunt is activated, then depending on the omen that you draw and the room that that it happened in, that determines a set condition for the scenario. So you could potentially have many different combinations of haunts. And what you have is a separate book that the betrayer has and the rest of the party has. And the betrayer at that point is made known, and then they have suddenly a new set of rules that they are trying to do. And the rest of the party is still trying to survive and outwit who the betrayer is, and that's their goal, to win the game. So it plays very differently pretty much every single time that you play the game. So there's, just to give you some perspective, one of the scenarios that I played when I was in Betrayal at the House on the Hill, everybody was shrunk, and the goal was to get into this small airplane and fly out the window, whilst the betrayer controlled cats that were running around the mansion trying to eat everybody else. So, there's that.
That's fucking hilarious, to be perfectly honest. And the interesting thing with both of the Betrayal games is I believe there's like 50 different haunts. So while it will take a while to get through and to play all those different haunts, and it's completely random, basically, which one you get, some games will end up being the same, although the player may be different if you play the same scenario, or the same haunt over and over again, by chance, that it's dependent on whoever has this stat highest, or whoever is in this area, or whoever is playing this specific character. So there's a lot of conditions that have to be met that chooses who that betrayer is. And that's what also keeps it fresh if you are playing a haunt that you've already played before, is that it may play out completely different.
Yeah, so the replayability for this game is extremely high. And yeah, no, I've always enjoyed this game, and they've done some really cool things with the Baldur's Gate version of it. We had a very fun scenario that ended up, it was fun, and it was definitely very interesting. The haunt was called Forever Mead, and the idea was everybody had drank a potion when the haunt was activated, and this potion was actually slowly killing us. And the betrayer turned into a dungeon master, and they got to place a variety of different vials around the map. And those vials could either contain a cure or something else that made you just vomit all over the place, like the one that I drank did. Or it could just be poison that outright kills you. So, yeah, it was interesting. And slowly, as the dial was ticking up, you could potentially take more and more damage or more opportunities to take damage from the poison coursing through your veins. So it was an awesome scenario.
Yeah, and it was great because, again, Andy ended up helping to co-betray us. But this one was actually, I liked because our betrayer was not actually a traitor. What happens is they died from the potion. So our party member was dead, and then that player just assumes the role of a DM and gets to fuck with us. So it's not actually the same character, so it has a different flavor as otherwise than like somebody actually stabbing you in the back. So there's quite a bit of story diversity, and again, I haven't played House on the Hill, so I'm not sure if there was that kind of flavor to it, where you always have somebody who stabs everybody in the back, or if it's more of an outside source. But this one was a blast, and it was so fucking intense.
Yeah, we were on the edge of our seats the entire time, wondering, all right, is this vial going to kill us? Is this vial going to kill us? And yeah, no, it was really well done. And to answer your question, Caleb, I don't really know, because I've only played maybe 3 or 4 scenarios for Betrayal at House on the Hill, and only one of Baldur's Gate. So I really haven't had an opportunity to experience what all is out there. So
Fair enough.
We can always, well, I would prefer to not have any spoilers for this game. So you know what? We're just going to have to get out there and play it again. How's that?
That was my thoughts exactly. But yeah, definitely check out Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. Check out Betrayal at House on the Hill. They both play 3 to 5 players, so get a couple friends together and play that. Yeah, I had a blast. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. And I've had so many friends hype up Betrayal at House on the Hill, and I was worried that it was going to kind of fall short. I was like, it's actually, it takes forever, it's boring, nothing really happens. No, I mean, it was intense start to finish. Andy, again, shout out to him for doing a great job as a co-DM for it, because he was trying to manipulate us and trying to goad us into drinking the potions, and he never changed. Whether he knew if it was poison, the ipecac, or the cure, his attitude never changed. So you never knew.
Yeah. And one of the other things that really made the game so intense that I don't recall from the first one was some of the events that happened affected certain people based off of the tile that they were on. So one of the changes with Baldur's Gate is there's a catacombs, which is your basement. There is, instead of a second floor, there is buildings, and then there are streets. So you're either inside or you're outside. And some of the events were like thunderstorm, where if you were outside, you had to run to get into the nearest building, and depending on how many tiles you had to move, you took that much damage from being struck by electricity. Or if you were in the catacombs, there was an unfortunate flash flood, and you got swept away downstream. So I don't remember too many things like that happening event-wise from Betrayal in the House on the Hill. So that's one of the cool things that was changed with Baldur's Gate. So that added a lot of flavor to it. And the cool thing was...
I liked that a lot.
Yeah. And I think the other awesome experience with this game was everybody was kind of role-playing and just so at ease and having a great time, which is exactly what this game is best at. Just sitting back, having fun, role-playing, making everybody laugh. It was awesome.
Definitely. I cannot wait to play more of this game and more Arkham Horror, more tabletop games. When we break ourselves away from Destiny 2, of course. Speaking of Destiny 2, Crimson? Is he awake, or is he just playing?
Yeah!
Is he just playing Destiny 2 in the background? Did he leave us?
No, I'm here. I'm just gonna let you guys do your beginning thoughts on Destiny 2, and then I will get into the more technical aspects.
Nice. Okay, well, I'm going to get my negative Nancy hogwash out of the way first.
Yeah, you get yours out of the way. I'll get my both positive and negative out of the way, and then we can start the splooge fest that is Andrew gushing over this fucking
Okay,
game.
I'll be quick, I promise. Okay, so, Spark Notes. What happened and why I couldn't play Destiny 2 during the first week. There was a very specific issue with the development of this game where AMD Phenon 2 processors do not have this special extension, SSES3, which is some sort of graphics extension. Now, this was not a problem during the beta, so naturally I'm like, hey, my computer can run this. I'm all in, because I love this game. And then the release happens, and it crashes. I restart, and it crashes again. And then it crashes again. And I'm like, well, this is irritating. Let's go look online, see what's going on. And I find this. My exact processor cannot run the game because of this stupid extension. And let me tell you, the forums were exploding with people that were angry about this. I mean, just armchair general until the cows come home. It was bad. But knowing that I was able to play this in the beta, that kind of made me have some hope that, hopefully they're not going to be dumb and alienate an entire group of people because of their processor. So I gave it some time, and they gave us a patch that removed that requirement for this extension. So I have successfully loaded in. It is playable, but I'm just officially a week behind. So I will catch up on the hype train.
Yes, and I do want to point out the thing about the beta. That was something that rubbed me the wrong way as well. The game was perfectly playable. I was running 60 frames per second almost constantly in the beta, in every section of it. It would dip a little bit, but I was like, hey, both of my computers can play it, even my old desktop. And I know RJ had the same experience. Hey, my computer plays this great. And then on release, it didn't. And I had an unfortunate issue of, on my laptop, that I can't play in full screen. And that is another known issue. I don't know if it got fixed because there hasn't been any patch notes for this update today. But we do know that SSES3 extension has been removed. So hopefully they also fix the full screen mode on laptops as well. But I did not feel like this was a malicious thing, and that was big, because we've had so many gaming companies lately fucking over their player base, being cockbites all the time, all day, every day. But this time it felt like this was a just drastic oversight, and I'm glad that they were able to fix it.
I agree with that too. I think it was just a oversight.
And I am definitely glad that the community was all over him about it. Not because it was malicious, but because the more people that dogpile on them, good or bad, is going to get it fixed faster. And unfortunately, it was a week, but it's better a week than 3 months when the first, expansion pack comes out. So I am definitely happy with their response to it. It is nice that, it is, the networking side is ran by Blizzard, so we do have their credibility to kind of back some things up as well. Because I know that push comes to shove, that Blizzard's going to be on Activision and Bungie about it. Because it's their reputation on the line now, too. But, yeah. I'm just glad RJ's finally in.
Oh man, so am I. So I'm going to jump into the story mode and get cranking on this, because I'm itching to play with you guys. And then actually, Caleb, one of the cool things that you, and actually both of you, shared with me was that there's a co-op campaign.
Yeah, the whole game. Basically the entire game can be played with friends, except for the first two, tutorial levels, which are it's 15 minutes to get through them. And then there's like a little bit of storyline that you have to get through before you get to the social hub. Once you get to that, then you can pair up with people and basically do everything. All the storyline missions, all the open world content, public stuff, PvP, the strikes, which are basically dungeons, raids, basically everything. And so that was what sold me. I did not know that it had a co-op campaign. I was like, it's just going to be strikes, and then we'll play in PvP, I guess, sometimes. But the fact that you can go anywhere on any of the worlds with your buddies, sold. And me and Crimson actually got to do a good bit of that, didn't we?
Oh yeah, definitely. And so, okay, let's get into the nitty gritty here.
Should I give my negative stuff first and then let you rant? Okay,
go for it.
Okay,
go for it.
I have some issues and some great stuff to say. First thing, they do have loot boxes. They're not actually important, but it is microtransactions. But they're for like nothing. The only thing that I dislike is that vehicles are gated behind it, except for I think you get one when you complete the campaign, right?
Yeah, you get a free one when you complete the campaign.
Okay.
It's just not going to be legendary, exotic.
Gotcha.
You know, but it's
still
just
something.
fine. If you enjoyed,
it's a shitty.
If you like the
speeder bike, yeah.
Yeah, if you like the speed of the bikes that you can find in the world, it's the same speed as those.
Okay, well that's good. But the loot box system would just kind of was like, whatever. The thing that actually irritated me the most was the gated content. We actually were having discussions on this because there is no explanation of anything in this game. It doesn't say, hey, strikes unlock at level 14, or PvP unlocks at this level, or you get your subclass at this level, or nothing. Nothing. There's no tooltips, there's no descriptions, no nothing. So me and Crimson were talking over this past week going, when do we get to do strikes? Is it at level 20? And I'm like, surely it can't be level 20 because, like, you would think that you would be able to do strikes to level. Well, it kinda. Like, we thought maybe it was level 15 then. And then Crimson hit level 15. He's like, no, I didn't get it. And I was like, oh, well, I unlocked strikes. I got him at, like, level 14. And he's like, oh, well, I got him at level 16. It was because it's gated behind story content. So, basically, if you want to unlock everything, I highly recommend just playing through the campaign. Because then all of the extra stuff is going to unlock.
Yep.
And if you spend, 4 days on, the very first planet, the EDZ, just completing public events and adventures and stuff like that, you're going to be sitting there going, man, I'm level, 18, but I can't do anything. That's because you have to go complete a bunch of story stuff. So I wish that it would have been gated by level, if anything.
Yeah, same here.
Because then it would have allowed people to play at their own pace and do it feels very linear when it's gated like that.
Or at least give us the option to do heroic story mode or non-heroic story mode and make the non-heroic easy as fucking pie.
Yeah. And other than that, the public events have been really cool. They're like world events that happen every few minutes or whatever. They're always the same wherever that location is. So you'll know what you're getting into when you roll up on it. Every public event can be made into a heroic by meeting a certain objective condition, which I'm sure Crimson will go into for us in a little bit. But they're really fun. My only issue had been that I was needing a challenge done on a specific planet called Io, and nobody was fucking there. Nobody. I had to do 10 public events because I couldn't complete any, successfully complete them, so I only got half credit. Because I was soloing public events. And that was really frustrating me because it was basically just me watching a respawn screen over and over and over again. But, that aside, when people are there, even 1-2 other people, or if you've got a group that you're running with and you do public events, it's a ton of fun. It is intense. Shit is hitting the fan. There's bullets flying. It is so much fun. Now, PvP, on the other hand... Holy fuck. Okay, so, real quick, it feels like Halo with a lot less fun of Halo. Again, there's no real explanation of what stuff counts and what doesn't, because it says, like, level abilities are not available or whatever, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? It doesn't say. So you go in and you're fighting and you can't drop the guy's shields or kill anybody fast enough. You're, just unloading clips and clips into people and nothing happens. And then they kill you in 2 shots because they've got a sun shot. And that rubbed me the wrong way. Now, I did realize that there is a steep learning curve, even with my extensive background in Halo games. There is a lot more to it, in the sense of, like, your energy weapon, which is your sidearm, basically, or your backup weapon, does a lot more damage to shields. Your kinetic weapon, which is generally your primary weapon, does more damage to fleshy targets. So you're kind of swapping back and forth. Instead of there being weapons on the map, you have ammo packs on the map that give you ammo for your power weapon, which can be a sword, a shotgun, a rocket launcher, a sniper rifle, a fusion rifle, and something else. Grenade launcher, I think. I think I already said that. Anyway, those are pretty cool. You still have your supers that you can use, and generally it's very fun. There's a couple of really fun game types that me and Crimson got to play that we just had a blast with. I jumped into... We did a quick match for like 4 matches, and we just got crushed over and over and over again. I ended up flipping to competitive for a quest, and I just wrecked people. It was like somebody flipped on the old Switch from my old Halo days, and I was pulling out all the tricks from back in the day, and it was just murder, 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 murder. And it was a lot of fun. But it doesn't last. It really is dependent on your team. So, again, just like Overwatch, just like Halo, just like Call of Duty, just like every shooter game that is team-based, your communication, your teamwork, sticking together matters. And if you get in with a group of people who are not sticking together, you're gonna have a real bad time. Now, Crimson, what were your experiences?
Well, let me expand on yours a little bit here into what I dislike. There are things I do dislike. The very first one is the fucking chat. Fuck you.
I forgot
Bungie.
about that. Yeah, there's no general chat, which normally would be fine, except you need help from people in this game.
Yeah, it's like, alright, well, I want to... hell, I just want friends to play with. Well, how do you do that? Well, okay, I chat in chat. Hey, you seem like a cool dude. You want to friend up and go do some public events? Oh, I can't fucking do that. Yeah. Because there's no fucking chat.
You know how I've added people to friends in Destiny? I've added 2, I think, so far. Me and you played strikes with them, and they weren't shitbags. That was it.
Pretty much.
That was it. I'm like, oh, in the summary screen after we complete it, I click send friend request. And I'm like, I don't know who you are. You may have been literally just screaming and cussing at us the whole fucking time. We don't know. You can't communicate.
Exactly. Supposedly you can communicate with voice, but I've never heard anybody use it yet.
And I think that is...
I've tried to use it.
You have something that pops up when me and you are in a fire team, and it says... voice chat disabled due to user's strict NAT setting. And it only pops up on yours.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so I can't use voice,
Yep.
I can't do any of this, I can't fucking talk to anybody. I mean, it really fucking sucks.
Yeah. And supposedly...
To the point where it's...
In strikes, they are...
and everybody's just like, oh, everybody's just like, well, go get friends. Fuck you.
How?
I shouldn't have to have friends to play the game.
Yes. Now
I'm waiting for my friends to get off work.
And now with like the strikes and stuff, and in PvP, you should be able to talk with your team, which you can. Like, you can type to your team in PvP, and you can type to your fire team, which is like your actual party, in PvP and in strikes. The problem is that so much shit is going on, you don't have time to stop and type. That should have been an open world thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna lift my hand off the trigger. No.
Yeah. It's just no. There should have been a zone chat. Like, hey, when I'm on Earth in the EDZ, I can talk to the people who are also in the EDZ. If I'm on IO...
Or at least, either at least have chat in the farm in the city. Period.
Yeah.
2, if you don't want global chat, that's fine.
Yeah.
Allow us to have chat, just
local
people around me. So when I'm doing a public mission and they're not turning it into a heroic, I could be like, hey, dude, you guys need to attack this thing so we can turn it into a heroic. But I can't communicate that other than teabagging the freaking thing, which at that point they just look at me and then go kill the boss.
Yep, that sounds about right. Yeah, it's rough because you just go and start teabagging shit or shooting something, or use the point emote, which will just get you killed because it takes forever and you're getting shot. There's no real way to communicate to the other players, and even if there was like when you enter into a public event, that it automatically threw you into public event chat, I don't know. Anything would have been better.
Yeah, or at least like automatically group us into a fire team or something. Anything. Just anything.
And speaking of that, why don't you also rant about the Nightfall strikes? Because that is extremely relevant to the not being able to talk to people.
Yeah, so like Nightfall is like the super hard elite. It's pretty much like a heroic strike. And it's a weekly thing. Well, I think you could do them more than once a week, but you get the milestone once a week or something like that. Something I really want to do. It's high level. I'm there. It requires 260. I'm at 270 right now.
240.
There's no fucking matchmaking.
Requires 240. 240.
Oh, okay, 240. Yeah, there's no fucking matchmaking. So I click on it and I go into this fucking heroic dungeon solo. Now, people say you can do it solo, and I'm sure I could do it solo if I had 4 hours to do it. But I'm like, I don't want to do it solo. I want you to group me with other people because you won't let me fucking talk to other people. Pieces of shit. If you're not going to let me talk to people, at least force people to play with me.
Yes.
Don't make me go Cartman.
And actually, another point to discuss about our trouble with PvP was the fucking matchmaking. It takes so long to actually get paired with players in PvP. Their matchmaking really needs some work, both for the Nightfall stuff and for their PvP, because it is...
Yeah, or at least they need to make it an option that I can turn it on and say, I would like public members to join my Nightfall. Make it that way if I don't want public, if I want to solo it, or if I just want to do it with, me and you, or whatever, that's fine. But allow me, once I'm in the Nightfall, to go open to public. And then random people could join.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I mean, the game has just been released for PC, and there's different implementations for console. I don't know if they have voice chat capabilities or not, but I know I feel these things are coming down the pipeline. They just wanted to get the the bare bones minimum for just to get the game up and running, and then add some of these things later, because they've done that with Endless Space 2. I mean, I was part of I participated in the beta, and I got to see the evolution of the game from literally a skeleton to where it is today, and it's come leaps and bounds. So I don't expect this to be any different. So
yeah, and we're definitely not knocking the game, because the game has been an absolute blast.
It's just a minor inconvenience
that we would definitely like to see. Yeah, it's a minor inconvenience, which to us is a major inconvenience.
Yeah, it's just quality of life stuff that needs to be improved.
Definitely.
Now, beyond that, the game is super solid. So, here's just some tips for new players. You're going to go through 1 to 20, 20's max level, pretty quickly. Just do the storyline, you'll probably end up at 15, 16. Do a couple public events, you're at 20. At that point is when the real game starts. And how, the game, how progression really works is once you hit 20, you're going to start finding blue, rare items, green items, and you can actually infuse those items, if they're stronger, to your current item, which will make that item stronger and get rid of the old item. And that is how you're going to slowly climb to about 265. And at that point, blues stop increasing their level. So then you're stuck on purples and exotics, which is fine. I mean, it's actually a pretty good system for progression. I quite enjoy it. It does have the adverse effect that, honestly, the fastest way and the most efficient way is to create a character, get it to 20, move your gear over to that character, and then do all the once per character events that give you tons of, legendaries, and because they'll spawn at your level, disenchant them, make your stuff better, create a new character, move all your stuff over to that character, and rinse and repeat until you get to, max level. If you want to min-max.
Yeah, and that is if you...
Doesn't sound fun.
No, that is if you have the biggest boner for this game, humanly possible, maybe inhumanly possible, to where you have to have the absolute highest gear score, and you've got to be the most elite of the elite. If that is fun for you, which some people like that.
Oh yeah, I could definitely list a few people that do that.
I'm not gonna tell people not to do that, but you're gonna be fine and completely viable not constantly remaking your character and swapping gear over.
No. Now, I am remaking my character once, mainly because I just don't like the way my character looks. So I am making another Titan to play with you guys. When he gets to 20, I'm going to move the gear over and do that once. Get rid of the old Titan that unfortunately the human avatars are terrible, so I remade with an XO, which I do like. And, it is a grindy game. Now, there's lots of fun things in the game. So, you have patrols, which you will usually say, kill a bunch of characters, they'll drop these little things, you pick them up, you're done. Or it may be to go to this point and stand there for like 2 minutes while you collect data, you're done.
Or assassinate this boss guy.
Yeah. You will also have public events, which are much more in-depth and give better rewards. I personally tend to get lots of legendaries out of my public events, more so than strikes, actually. So that's mainly what I do. Is I go to the EDZ, I pop the token that you buy from Nathan Fillion, which gives you a better radius on finding the treasure chests, and just go around in a circle doing public events, grabbing treasure chests, doing public events, grabbing treasure chests, and then you can turn those tokens into the guy at the EDZ for more purples, which will allow you to upgrade more. Now, like I said, I'm almost 270, and I haven't had to remake my character. So it is quite possible to play the game normally and be fine. I'm just saying there are, people who are rushing to max level and stuff like that. That's how they're doing it. It just doesn't sound like a... Dude, I played those story missions. I don't really want to do them again, but I'll do them with you guys.
Yeah. And that's completely a viable reason of just not liking your character and wanting to remake as a different race. Because that is actually a thing that kind of irritated me. I think I got to like level 8 as my human hunter, and I'm like, no, I can't do it. I fucking hate him. He looks awful. So I also remade mine as an XO. And that is one complaint that I have. Another complaint that I have is that there's absolutely no way to change how your character looks whatsoever once they're created. So you can't change their hair color, their hairstyle.
Something that they definitely need to add into the game.
And when they do, if they do, it will be in a fucking loot box, unfortunately.
Now, they're... I'm just going to keep going with my huge list because I still have tons of shit to go through.
Yes.
Another thing that is very interesting is if you do remake your character at level 8, well, it's not technically level 8, but around 8 when you do the mission and around 14 when you do the mission, they give you a choice of one of 3 exotics. The exotics are the super uber item in the games. They change your characters in fundamental ways. They're extremely powerful. You can only have one exotic weapon and one exotic armor piece. That's it. You can't have 3 pieces of armor that are all exotic because they change your character so much. But they have a collection manager in the game. So once you get an exotic, you can craft that exotic again. So when you do play through the story mode, you'll get 2 exotics just from those 2 quests. You probably will scrap them because they're low level, but now they're unlocked in your collection. Well, if you remake your character, just choose different exotics next time. If you remake your character 3 times, you get access to all 3 exotics. That is kind of interesting, but not very necessary because you might find those exotics normally. Like, I think for me, when it comes to the gun choice at like 14, I already have the Sunshot because that's the one I chose, and I have the Risk Taker because I found it. So, when I make this, when I work through this second character, I'll choose the third option, and there you go. I don't have to do it again.
And the actual really cool thing about that is maybe you don't necessarily remake like your Titan or your Hunter, but you just play through as 3 different classes. Then you can have access to that collection, so once you hit X level or whatever, you can go craft that Sunshot for your Warlock now. And I love that fact. I love the collection aspect of being able to say, hey, I unlocked this one time. I don't have to do it every single playthrough for every single character. I can craft it whenever I want. Oh, I got it at level 8. Well, I out-leveled it. Well, guess what? I'm now level 20. I can craft it as a level 20 version. That was pure genius.
Yep, and I enjoy
that.
All
Sounds
of that.
That sounds very reminiscent of what they did in Borderlands 2, kind of, where you had Claptrap showed you a locker that you could store certain guns in. That if you love them and you out-leveled them, or you just found something better, you can stick it in there, and one of your other characters could use it. Does it kind of work the same way?
Not quite, because you also have a vault. Okay. Yeah, you actually have a locker or a vault where you can put items in. The collection is like you have unlocked this item. Now you can go to your collection at any time and now craft it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So it's basically an on-demand that you can remake it. So if you scrap it for parts later, if you out-level it, you can always remake it on any of your characters once you have gotten that exotic.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Neat.
Oh, it was so good. That probably one of the best decisions they made.
Yep. And then, so the other things that you can do in the world is you can do adventures, which are like these super short, go here, clear out this house type thing. Gives you a token for the guy on the planet. Nice and easy. There's also these mini dungeons. I love these mini dungeons. They're kind of hidden in the world, but not hidden. So you look for the symbol, and if you see the symbol, you know that there's a passageway around there somewhere. Go in the passageway, you clear out a couple mobs, you get to the end, there's a boss guy, you kill the boss. It has a big-ass treasure chest, which has tons of good loot in it. These are repeatable, although I have noticed that after the first one gives you the most amount of bounty, but when you repeat it, it's much, much less. And that's okay, because you don't want somebody just farming those all day long. But there are challenges that say go and do this Lost Caverns place, so you need to be able to redo them as challenges pop up. So those are pretty much the things that you're going to find there. There is some unique quest after the storyline that will reward unique items. That's another way. Say you get this unique item that you don't need. You're like, okay, well, I'll just infuse it into my item because it's a higher level, so it'll bring my power level up even though I'm not going to use it. Very good. I love the way they're doing the system. Another huge thing is the bright boxes, the loot boxes. Now, the loot boxes are cosmetic. They will give you rare level mods. Who cares? They're not useless, but it's not a big deal. They're not going to increase your power level. They're just going to give you a couple mods, which you can easily get elsewhere. No biggie. But yeah, they will give you vehicles, which is nice. You can transfer the vehicles to a level 1 character, so as long as that character has a vehicle, they can use the vehicle. I really like the skins that they have available. So say you get a shoulder pad. What it is you will get a shoulder pad that only has 10 power. So you'll take that shoulder pad and say you like the shoulder pad. You want this on your character. But it only has 10 defense. It's worse than the starting items. Well, you take your current shoulder pads and you infuse it into that to give it the level of your other shoulder pads. So this way, it's almost like a skin on the item that you were using before.
Now, I have a question about that. If you infuse an item, but it has a special ability, like while you're using an arc class, your stuff recharges faster, does that also go onto those shoulder pads?
No, you'll need to get that mod again and put it in.
So that's where the mods will come into, is like
right.
When an item has something like that, it's actually just a mod that was on it.
Correct. It's just a mod chip, pretty much.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Like a piece of mithril or something that was added into it.
Okay, cool.
I wish you could take the mods out of items. That would be awesome.
That was my next question. Okay, so you cannot unmod stuff. They are a one-use.
Not that I've found.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can get them pretty easily, so that helps.
Yeah. I do like the dyes in the game. I think it's a fun little thing, except for I hate the fact that they are fucking consumable.
Yep.
But I can live with it. I have plenty of dyes that I want to use.
And you'll find them everywhere. Yeah. I've got half an inventory of them. It's just getting the one that you really want is hard.
Yep. Now, if you don't want to spend money on these loot boxes, that's okay. You don't have to. Especially since it's mainly cosmetic stuff. It's not a big deal. When you reach level 20, every time you gain a level, you get a free loot box. If you open it up and you get 4 items that you're not going to use, you just disenchant them for Bright. And then once a week, the Bright vendor will change her stock, and because you can actually just outrightly buy some of the Bright items with Bright Dust. So it's not a big deal. Just play the game and you will get plenty of the stuff in the loot boxes. No biggie. The story is really good. I quite enjoy it. But man, it's those last couple missions kind of drag.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to those last few missions yet. I'm at the one that you have to be level 15 to complete. And we ended up doing a bunch of strikes in PvP, so I'm now level 20 and need to go back and finish that. But I'm very impressed with it so far.
I would definitely suggest for any new player, just solely focus on the campaign until you get it done, because that unlocks everything else later. I would not do public events or anything beyond what is needed for the storyline, and that's it until the storyline's done.
But obviously, like, if you're in the EDZ or if you're on a planet and you're like, oh, I'm on my way to a storyline quest, oh, there's a public event right next to me. Jump into that public event, because you're going to get some loot, you're going to get some XP. But just don't go farm, probably.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, public events are the best way to get XP. They give you almost 3 times as much XP as a stupid quest, and they take 5 minutes to do. But the quest doesn't get easier the higher level you get, so because it scales. So you might as well just do the quest and then worry about the rest later. And that'll unlock your fast travel points too.
Yep.
And hopefully it'll unlock your subclasses, because they are gated behind a drop, which is kind of irritating.
Yeah, and again, there's... Our list of complaints are... They're very small.
They're not complaints, they're quality of life issues that could be better.
Yes, I mean, they're complaints. They are. They're things that we dislike or don't necessarily enjoy that aspect of, like, the gated content behind storyline. But that aside, they're so minuscule for how good this game is. And I don't want to be I don't want us to be one of those podcasts where we're just gushing over how good this game is. But it actually is really fun. It is definitely worth picking up and checking out. And for any of you listeners who are playing Destiny 2 on the PC, talk to us and come play with us, because there's no fucking social interaction in-game.
And that was going to bring me to my next point. I am Crimson at number 1863. Please hit me up and I will play with you. Because I need people.
Yep, and I am Kale Enders 1178, but basically we'll give you the Discord information like we always do. Jump in there, talk to us, we'll get you in.
Honestly, that's the best thing you can do. Just even when I'm playing, I'm the only one there. I still jump into the Discord, voice chat, and dude, if you want to play Destiny, just jump into the voice chat and be like, "Hey, you want to play some Destiny?" I listen to podcasts or whatever, and I'm like, "Sure, let's do something." Even if it's just me running you through some areas, that's fine. I don't care. It's something better than doing the, solo stuff.
Or if you just needed an extra couple hands for PvP or whatever, and you're sick of all the scrubs, like, let us know. Come play with us.
Yep, definitely. And that's really all I got to say. I mean, I could go much more in depth on classes and all that stuff, but you know what? There's better guides out there on YouTube than anything I can give you here.
And more importantly, you guys should go explore that shit on your own. Go check out the classes, go check out the game, explore that shit, and enjoy that discovery.
Or you could watch 100 hours of YouTube videos.
Don't do that. Don't fucking do that. Don't be Crimson. Don't remake your Titan 40 times. He says he'll do it once, but we know the truth. Also,
you do get a bunch of engrams.
That's true. And now there was one other thing that we did want to mention, and that is how excited we are to have RJ in the game now, so we can finally do 3-man strikes and do, have a 3-player team for PvP, and it will be nice having somebody who has been platinum rank in a game on our team. Told you it was gonna happen! Yeah. I told you I would tell the world!
Damn it.
Well, we just gotta get his gear score up there so we can all do Nightfall.
He'll definitely get his gear score up there because he was platinum rank in Season 1 of StarCraft 2. Just saying, guys. We have one person who is not a mediocre gamer. That's why it's all 2 mediocre gamers.
And I do have to say that it is nice that everything is set in 3s. It is a little different than other games, but
yeah.
It works really well for us. The clan system is quite interesting and as we play together, because we are in a clan. And if you want an invite to the clan, just hit up me, Caleb, RJ, anybody. I mean, we'll send you an invite. You know, super easy. The clan is Mediocre Gamers, of course. But playing together with clanmates increases your clan level and also gives you more legendaries and exotics, because as your clan levels, you get free items. So it's definitely fun.
And who doesn't like free stuff? That's definitely an incentive.
No joke.
And thanks for just putting all of that out there. That was a past life where I had the StarCraft 2 bug and put my nose to the grindstone. But that was a past life. I am now I'm here.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing, though, is now when we talk about StarCraft, our listeners actually know that you know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I may just ramble on and...
Like, you have been down that road.
And I may just ramble on. Man, that was back in the day when you started with 5 SCVs instead of 10.
Holy shit. That sounds awful.
You spent the first 3 minutes of the game just creating
that was the biggest change. But to me...
But they also didn't immediately go to the minerals. You had to click them.
How far we've come.
What?
Yep, this is a thing.
Quality of life.
I'm glad that I waited. I'm glad that I jumped in this past year instead.
But really, when it comes down to it, I enjoy games for fun. I enjoy games with my friends, with the listeners that are out there, and the community that we are building. So, by all means, I will do my best to play with you guys and just get out there and have some fun. Because sometimes it's just not all about winning, even though that's what it might look like. It's not. It's about having fun.
That's not what my spreadsheet says.
All right, I'm done.
Sorry. Not sorry.
I tried.
We love you, RJ. We just gotta give you a little crap.
We have to give you the smallest amount of grief because no one else we know has been platinum rank in anything.
I don't have that kind of time.
I don't think RJ does anymore either.
Basically, after we're done here, I'm playing the campaign for a few minutes, getting a feel for it, and then going to sleep.
Yup. And that sounds about right.
Oh, the mediocrity.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Including all of us in Destiny. Because, you get kicked off the ship and you fall and almost die. But anyways, does anybody else have some closing thoughts, or shall we just move on?
I think we've pretty much done it for today. I can't wait to get into this, so let's do it.
All right. Well, as always, thanks for listening, and you can always check out our previous episodes at mediocregamers.com and on iTunes and Google Play. You can keep up to date with us on Facebook and Twitter at 2mediocregamers, and our Discord information is discord.mediocregamers.com. You just accept that invite and give us a shout, and we'll get you in and be playing some games with you guys. And we also encourage you to check out our YouTube channel. There is a link on the left-hand side of mediocregamers.com, as well as on our Facebook page. Give us a like, subscribe if you like what you see. Give us some feedback. We're always looking for more feedback. And honestly, just come play games with us. We're lonely. Well, on that note, I'm Caleb.
And I'm RJ.
I'm Crimson.
And until next time, get out there and play some games. With us! Play some games with us!
Mainly Destiny 2.
Get you some.
Ugh.